Cowboy Nation, man. Checking in with you for a second or two. Cowboy Nation going on live with a different platform here. So checking in with y'all, man. Hopefully we can get through this very brief live that I have. It's a very dead period now. We got a lot of content creators that are really taking some time off, and I understand because we're gonna be going wide open when we get to the in the next couple of weeks, and I know we're going into the holiday. But I just wanted to reach out to you, man. I saw something, man, that really echoes what I've been saying for a long time. And you see my name of this is the name of my this live I'm going here is Talented. And I'm about to say something that maybe some of y'all Cowboy fans don't really agree with. It's something that I've been saying for a while, and it's not coming from a homer type thing. Y'all know, if y'all know old Coach Marv don't come from a homer, this unbelievable homer type person. He's, he really I try to call it like it is, because I love the Cowboys, and hey, yes, I do give them the benefit of the doubt, but I love football, and football is a whole lot more than just getting caught up in that euphoria about, oh man, my team does everything great. But I was watching Law Nation and giving him a shout out when he was in he had an interview, and he was interviewing Malik Hooker, and Law reached out and said, his in his talks with Matt Eberflus, he said, man, he can see how Matt Eberflus, this face lit up with the talent that he has on this defense. And I know some people out there talking about, man, well, we got to get a one. I don't think Matt Eberflus has had a defense, and he's probably have said this, that is this deep in talent, and this deep with talented players, and players that are talented that hadn't even reached their potential yet. And most of this talent is going into his second year. He's probably didn't have a defense where they're not depending. You're really talented in a football team when you can draft guys, but in a lot of cases, you're not depending on these guys to be superstars right off the bat. You just say that you want them to be contributors. See, I think sometimes our Cowboy Nation, we get caught up in thinking every time we draft a guy, we drafting a guy to be an automatic superstar right off the bat. But what you really drafting a guy is to be a contributor. And I mean that if that's contributing in some ways, here and there. Some people call them rotational players, yeah. But if they can contribute, they could be a part of the plan. You feel that you have gotten a lot out of them, and then you build them up to start to give more and more and more to the plate. This defense, and I'm going to the offense too, has the talent to be very special. But it goes back to my last video, and if people who follow me, please like, comment, and subscribe, and please look back at my playlist. I just did a video a couple of days ago, those who teams that sweat more in peace bleed less in war. And I talked about the Cowboys working and not being outworked. And this goes back to what I've been saying for a long time about this Cowboy team. It's something I have been saying about this Cowboy team for a long time. that this team has not been under-talented. This team has underachieved. This team has underachieved in the Mike McCarthy era. When you have a team to go 12-5 2 years in a row, and put as many Pro Bowlers and have as many injuries we have had, and still have backups that play as much as we had backups playing. And we went 12-5 2 years. I ain't talking the third year. That means your team underachieved mentally and culturally to win big games and to advance. And this is what, you keep hearing Coach Marv talk about culture and about mental toughness. I keep going back, people, back to when we lost the Green Bay game, and when I heard Hall of Famer after Hall of Famer, not only from the Cowboys, but from other teams. Not talking about how we didn't have little linebackers or this and that. Talking about, even I heard Michael Parsons and CeeDee Lamb on that first show that they had. Talking about just the mentality of what it takes to win, and we didn't have it. See, this is what I run into problems with a lot of my Cowboy Nation. And there's a lot of, this is where Coach Marv has a little difference between me and a lot of other content creators. And I'm not going against them. Listen, I'm with them 100 because, like I said, we're all trying to win. A lot of people want to talk about what player we need to get. Man, we need to get this guy. We need to get this guy. Well, the Joneses ain't putting no money in free agency. And we don't, man, we ain't get this guy. We need this and we need that. But none of us talk about that when we look at our team and we look at the amount of Pro Bowlers, and then we look at the amount of backups that we have played and we still play well. And then we look at that and we say, we keep needing to add more to the bucket. Sometimes I think what we do is we do a disservice to our football team. Because instead of talking about what we need to add or who we need to throw off the boat or the cancel culture to get rid of people, why don't we challenge the guys that's here to say, y'all got to do better? Why don't we say the guys that we've had here is underachieved? Now, we're quick to say Dak Prescott underachieved. But isn't the whole team not underachievers? Don't our leaders, the guys that we've considered stars on this team, supposed to bring everybody up to another level? If I was to tell you that you got 2 Hall of Fame offensive linemen, you got a young Mari Cooper, 5 or 6 years, or 4 or 5 years ago, Mari Cooper, a CeeDee Lamb coming out, a Tony Pollard who was explosive, a younger Ezekiel Elliott, and you still underachieved when you got to the playoffs. Granted, Gray one of his better years. I mean, when you look at the Cowboys, man, I will tell you this, man. They say our offensive line ranked it in the top 10 of offensive line groups last year. And I hear people talk about how bad the offensive line struggled. Did it really struggle? Do you know how many people we played? And for us to rank as one of the top 10 offensive lines? I would guarantee you got, and listen, we didn't add superstar guys, but we added depth pieces that's in this camp of guys that got starting experience in the NFL, along with the young guys who got starting experience. I think our thirst as a fan base, sometimes you get too thirsty, kind of gets us blinded about what we really have. And that's something I may have talked about. We talked about in church today, talking about, we talk about things we want, but are we really blinded about the stuff that we already have? So when I hear Mike Eagles fools go gushing about this defense, I understand where you come from. When I hear Schottenheimer talking about this offense, I see where he's coming from. This team needs how can I put it to make sure to analogize what y'all need to understand? This team just needs somebody to give them direction and just somebody to say, it's time to stop making excuses and asking for something. It's time to show the talent that you have. It's time to start hiding behind Dak Prescott. It's time to start hiding behind it's somebody else's fault, or we didn't get this, or we don't have this, or we didn't go spend this, or we didn't go spend that, or we didn't get this player, we didn't get that player. It's time to get better and show the talent that we have. Michael Irvin said it best, and I keep going back to that. He said it best. He said, talent. The difference between talented players across the NFL, talent on teams is very minimal. That's why every game, if you watch most games, they come down to less than 7 points. Week in and week out. This team needs to be built in a way of saying there is no excuses for us not to win a championship on the defensive end. There is no excuse for us not to be able to win the championship on the offensive end. There is no excuse for us not to be able to win the championship on some type of end, some type of way any type of way that we can win the championship. But talent is not going to be the problem. This team got enough talent on this team to be a damn good run defense. If they want to. This offense got a chance to be a damn good run offense. If they want to and they believe in it. I had somebody talk to me the other day and they asked me, say, Ma, what you think? What is your things that you think that the team need to improve on the most? I said, first of all, we need to have a mentality on defense that we're going to win this championship with our defense. And we're not going to settle for nothing less. I need a mentality with this talented on this defense that we get a mentality of a dog mentality that says we don't care about what Dak them do. If we got to outscore a team, we will. But we're not allowing anything, and anything you get on us, you're only going to do it once. And from the offense, I think we need to improve our explosive plays. Does that mean we're going to put up 40 burgers, average 37 points a game? May not. But I want to improve our explosive plays. And how you improve explosive plays? Dominating physically, and then our explosive plays will come easily. Dominating physically, and our explosive plays will come easily. Because we have explosive players. But we have to dominate physically first. And I guess on defense, stopping explosive plays. And that's paying attention to details. It's just time for us to stop making excuses. I'm not going to be on here long. I'm not going to be on here long, man. I got 14 people out there, man. We got 14 people out there viewing. I got, thank you for the likes, man. Thank you, man. That's good, man. We get this. Hopefully, these other 2 people who out there viewing to get those likes up to 13 likes, man. Hitting that like button. No real big topic today. Just want to just to give you a word to tell you, man. Cowboy Nation, we more talented than what y'all think we are. We have a talented team. Don't let nobody tell you that different. Don't let the cow herds and all those cow herds and all these people talk you out of not saying you got a talented team. Like I said in my last video, they are only talking about us and saying that we can't do this, we can't do that, or we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that, because they're talking about that we're going to falter somewhere because we're not mentally tough. That's all that they're saying. They don't believe that we can finish the job. They don't believe that we can stay focused when things start going, we're going to get a big head. They feel that they're easily can start talking about us in a good manner and get us to have a big head, and then we'll get out there and blow a game because we won't be focused. I.e. Green Bay. They pumped us up when we played Green Bay, talking about how great we were at home. And we fell into that, and we thought we were just going to walk into being at home and just win. And Green Bay players said we were front runners. They didn't say they were more talented than us. Man, forget all that crazy stuff talking about, well, they talked about because we going to run the ball against y'all because y'all had little linebackers. That's a bunch of, if you watch the game, if they don't get got players running down the field wide open, a massive plays they gotten. But they talked about during the game about us being front runners. Talked about our mental toughness. Every team in this league fears our talent. And for y'all people out there saying, man, people don't care about. Listen, man, this league know how talented Dak Prescott is. But somewhere down the line, as a Cowboy Nation, we got to understand this. Instead of saying how much we don't have and what we need to get, and we need to get this and chasing that rabbit and chasing that carrot, it's about, are we going to come to be an unselfish, humble football team? Listen, to be a mentally tough team and to be a great, selfless football team, there has to be sacrifice. For everything great, it has to be sacrifice. I take what I just saw in OKC. And some of y'all out there remember, we're just seeing the NFL, the NBA championship. OKC was not more talented than everybody else in the league. Yes, they had a great player like Gilchrist. Yeah, there's no doubt about Gilchrist was the MVP. But the word that came out of OKC all the time was they were the most unselfish basketball team that had a great player on it, but they were selfless. And they were mentally tough. When you don't lose no more, you only lose 2 games in a row. In the last 2 years, you only lost 2 games in a row 4 times in 2 seasons. That means you're mentally tough. That means you never get too high and you never get too low. Mental toughness means consistency. And that's what the Cowboys have been lacking. You can't tell me, man, how hard it is to win 12 games in the NFL. That's like winning 11 games. If you just go up there, that's just like saying we went 12-5, but that's just like going 11-5 when we had 16 games. Don't you know how hard it is to win 11 games in the season? Not 1 year, but 3 consecutive years? And you did that coming off a team that McCarthy first year we won 5 or 6 games, and then we turned around and we won 11 games, 12 games, 3 consecutive years. Some gonna say Mike McCarthy, but Mike McCarthy inherited a team, and they have drafted and put players on this team. This team has been underachievers, not overachievers. And if you think this team has been overachievers, you're blinded. You're blinded by what the media has always tried to downplay your players, but then these guys getting all pros, Pro Bowls. And they let the media downplay your players, But then they say stuff like, well, they're gonna blow up, they're gonna fall apart, they're accident waiting to happen. That's not talking about talent. That's talking about the mental fortitude and the culture that has been created in Dallas. Is that Dallas? Is that the organizational culture? No. This organization has always been known to be a mental tough football team because we always had the spotlight. You don't have the winning percentage you have had in this organization for over the years, and we came in this organization when we talking about we the third best team in playoff victories, and we hadn't been around since some of these teams been around 15, 20 years longer than us. That's a sustained success, regardless of who the ownership was. But right now, in the last 5 years, we have not been a mentally tough football team. We have not outworked our competition. We have underachieved with the talent that we have had. If Dak Prescott is healthy for a whole year, we averaged 12 wins a season. The only 2 years when we went down is when we lost our quarterback for most of the season. I tell you, people, man, I'm telling you, this is not a homer. Some of these people gonna look at this video and they're gonna say, "Well, coach is being a homer." This is not a homer type video. I'm not doing this and saying I'm a homer or this is something that I'm being a homer uh, and not really being honest of my assessment. This team has underachieved with the talent had. Listen, man, I guarantee you, there's not a coach in this league. Take away all the other distract. When you got people that's this great, this down home coaches, and we took away all the other aspects that go along with the Cowboys, and you just ask them, say, "Give me that roster." I guarantee you, there's not a coach in this league that wouldn't take this roster. As it is right now. There's going to be some position places you have to coach it up. I'm not worried about cornerback. I hear people talking about cornerback like, well, how they going to match up one-on-one. Listen, man, I keep trying to tell y'all, when we start having conversation about football and we talk about, man, how he going to match up with this guy, going to match up with this, 80% of the coverages in the NFL are zone coverages. And the rest of and most of the man-to-man coverages hybrids or stuff that they try to listen, man. You're not going to go out there and they're going to put a guy there and we was going to lock up like some of these teams would lock up. You may lock up a man-to-man if you have that, but some of those it's not going to be conducive to that. And with Matt Eberflus, he's going to try to have his eyes on the ball. He already said that. He likes a defense with eyes on the ball. So he can be instinctive to be able to get there as well as he can corral big plays. But this team, I promise you this. And some of you going to look at me and some of you going to listen to this and they're going to say, "Coach, I don't believe that." But I'm going to give you this. Our offensive line probably go about 8, 10 deep, and I'll be happy with it. I'm not if it's utilized the right way. I'm not worried about how we go 10 deep, as long as we utilize the right way. See, one time I think sometimes the biggest perception is we can set guys to be up for failure because we don't utilize them in the right way. Let's take an example. Let's take an example. And offensive linemen are just like any other position. If you don't use a lineman in the right way or use the connection of your line in the right way, you can make them look worse or bad in some aspects when they ain't that bad. Let's put it like this. Michael Parsons, great player, great athlete. If I use the great Michael Parsons at cornerback or safety, he's not going to look as great if I utilize him at defensive line and linebacker. If I use Terrence Steele as strictly a pass blocker and not let him set you up by imposing his dominance on you physically, and then he can work you once he set that dominance. And every time we have any games that we have run the ball on a consistent basis, we never heard no problem with Terrence Steele and pass block. Check it down. But when we don't put the guy in the right spots, we can curve their abilities. That's the same thing with Nick Saban and Bill Belichick said, man, in the art of coaching. They said this: good players can't take bad coaching. And if you don't utilize guys right, you can it's almost giving kryptonite to Superman. Now go back to what I was saying. I'm gonna bet you on, and I put all the money in China. If we develop continuity, remember, go back to my video, man. I got so many good videos, man. Y'all need to check out my log, man, my playlist. I had something about offensive linemen, the 3 C's: continuity, comfortable, and control. The 3 C's of building a good offensive line: continuity, being comfortable, and control. With this offensive line, if we set out in training camp and we allow this offensive line from the 3 Towers and Terrence Steele, the 4 T's with BB, and we allow this offensive line to go into training camp and be physical all during training camp. I mean, actually work hard on the run game and be physical during training camp. I guarantee you, Dak Prescott won't be touched. And this offensive line has the potential to be one of the best offensive lines in football and for a long, long time. And they will be deep if someone goes down because you got guys behind them. If you do that, they will fit right in that mold. And with this offensive line being just as good as I think it can be, if you give them the physical presence and you let them work together, and you keep that the main purpose of them, everything else will work like clockwork. And the thing that this offensive line will also do, it will make you, if you give them that physical presence and you let these maulers like Tyler Smith, Tyler Booker, Terrence Steele, BB, Guyton likes to get into it. If you allow them to be physical and allow them to impose their will, not worried about play action passes, but you work hard on your run game, I'm telling you, folks, your defense will be a better run stopping defense. It will make your defense better because they'll be playing against one of the best offensive lines in football week, day in and day out. And this offense will be able to do whatever they want to do. But if they go in there and they make this offense a finesse offensive line and hope that they'll get physical later on, you're taking this like giving kryptonite to Superman. This offensive line got the talented to be a dominant offensive line if it's used correctly. Like I said, folks, Common Sense Lab, thank you for coming in, man. Thank you for a lot of people, man, coming in. Listen, I got 20 likes, man. There's 17 people in the building. I hope I get more people in the building, man. I hope y'all, whoever's out there that's watching, just share the content, man. Share it to your friends and to your media things. I don't usually go on live on the YouTube part. I usually go on live on my other platform, and it gets uploaded on YouTube. But I wanted to step out here today and do just a live on YouTube. I didn't want to talk about much. Just want to talk about talent, man. We are a talented football team, man. And this culture has got to be what's going on, man. The physicality, the discipline, the mental toughness, the leadership / coaching, and the talent. I came to tell you, man, as this team is constructed right now, we got enough talent on this team with the right mentality to win a Super Bowl. Now, are we going to win a Super Bowl? No, I'm just trying to win the division first and have a good seed in the NFC. There's levels to this. And to be humble enough to know that you got to outwork everybody is what this team needs. I want everybody who's out there, these 17 people or these people who's chiming in right now, I want you, when you go on to other people's shows, when you talk about other people's shows, you talk on other people, when you talk about the Cowboys, I want you to always mention, say, hey, are we going to sweat more in peace so we can bleed less in war? I want to know if our Cowboys are going to be humble enough to know that we got to outwork everybody to earn the right to be champions. And I'm here to tell you folks, without a shadow of a doubt, if we take that type of mentality into this season, the NFL gonna have hell to pay with the Cowboys. Everybody's not talking about our talent. They might try to mention our talent, but now they're saying, "Oh, well, you got the talent, but you're not gonna win." They're not talking about George. They're not talking about George Pickens' talent. Everybody talked about how great he was. Now they're not talking about his talent. Now what they're talking about? Now they're gonna talk about is he gonna stay, a team player? And I have some questions about that. He got to prove that. But the fabric of this team will keep people in check. Sacrifice, culture, mentality, grind, work. All the characteristics of a championship team and all the characteristics of what people don't want to talk about. All the subjects that the general people don't want to talk about. People don't want to talk about discipline, grind, sacrifice. But that's what this team needs. This team don't need an X and an O guy. This team needs a father figure. And a strong one at that. So it can realize its talent and its potential. Like I said, man, thank y'all for joining me for this short thing. I'm gonna check off now, man. Please share this information, man. I'm trying to get up to the point where I can get monetized, man. Hopefully, I'm gaining people, man. So I know y'all are sharing because people are watching my videos later on, and they're jumping on board with my videos, and it's helping out. And that's people as they watch, they're coming on, and my videos are getting out there more people. This is Coach Mar Real Talk, man. I got a library of 28 videos out there now. This video is going to be attached to my playlist. Coach Mar Real Talk. Check out my videos, man. We talk about I list about the culture that we need and my 5 building blocks, crucial building blocks to a culture. We talk about the 5 things, the stages that this new culture is in. I give you some information about things that when we're going to bring back again later on about the 5 things that the battles that we got to win football games. And all those are built off the cultural base that we build. And we're going to talk about things about how we going. This one thing I'm always talk about. And if you're viewing me for the first time, I've coached, I played, I've coached, and I understand that this game is about, yes, it's about physical. Yes, it's about playing well, athletes. But the mental capacity of this great team sport is the most important thing. To get 40, 50 some guys to be mentally in focus with each other and to sacrifice and to work and to be dependable and to be counted on. It's going to bring you more victories than having all the talented players. I have seen teams that have a lot of talented players, but they didn't have what we have. We didn't have what was inside the chest. I always said this, man, and write this down if y'all watching me. There's 2 things that the teams every player wants to win. And that's desire, and determination. Everybody got desire to win. Everybody got desire to have the big house in the Hamptons, to ride around in limousines. Everybody has that desire. Most of the people have that desire to be the best at something. Yeah, the desire is there. Desire is part of the mental part. It goes through your mind, and that's what starts a desire for things. And every team that's starting off this year got the desire to win a championship. But when it comes down to the other word, determination, that comes about how much you're going to put in and how you're going to be able to face adversity or to handle success, to grind, to sacrifice, to get it out the mud, to get to your goal. And that determination word, it drops a lot of people off of the list that was on there with desire. Is this Cowboy team determined enough to get it from the mud? That's what I want to see if Schottenheimer going to do. Because I'll go back again. Those who sweat more in peace. Teams that sweat more in peace. If you don't understand what that analogy says, teams that work harder before the real stuff starts, in practice, in OTAs, in off-season workouts, are going to bleed less when we get into this schedule. And when people do hurt them or they get into it, they're going to have the mental fortitude and the determination to get back on track and dominate. Two things that we have had problems with in these last 5 years and may have gone back farther than that. We couldn't handle success, and we allow people to give us excuses other than we were not good enough mentally. Get off this Dak excuse, Cowboys football team. And that's why I want to hear my fan base. And I know my fan base is going to always look for that because every time someone loses, the 3-letter network, 4-letter network, they always want to put up that first article when we lose. And everybody want to say, who was the cause? That's how they always do. Who was the main cause of us losing? Cowboy Nation, we are talented enough to win. Now, I'm going to probably come on again before I get out of town for my 4th of July celebration, man, going and visit some family, man, and really get ready for this season, man. But I thank y'all so much for everybody who's tuned in and watch, man. I thank you so much for the likes, man. When you look at the people who's in the chat or in the video watching it, and your likes, everybody who came in, you got over 100%, well over 100% of everybody who came in. They said, man, that is great, man. I hope y'all subscribe. I hope y'all get subscribe and follow Coach, man. We just trying to grow this channel. And if you want something, man, if you hear me, $PBS, $PBS 222 is my cash app. If you want to send something to support the channel before we get monetized. But hey, this for y'all coming in is enough support for me. Thank you so much. Until the next week, man, you have a glorious week. And keep pushing the word out. We're talented. And are we going to sweat more in peace to bleed less in war? Till next time, salute. I'm out.